Hey everyone! As some of you folks may know, I am a musician. And one of my favorite things ever, literally ever, in the world to do is sing with a live band in front of people. Since we left Miami, we haven't had a chance to do that as much. We had Crimson all together in one state, and I was also a singer in a couple of cover bands. Since moving around and focusing on my video game career, instead, Evan and I have mostly been performing duo acoustic gigs, doing originals and covers on Twitch. But now that we've been settled in Dallas for a few years, Evan and I have found a little bit of a rhythm, and we thought that we could really get out there and start booking more shows, more brunch gigs, and gigs in rooms with increasing amounts of people just packed together. Well, so imagine how absolutely stoked I was when I found out that Evan's band had been hired to play a gig and they needed somebody to sing a couple of the tunes that they'd been assigned. It's a wedding gig. Now, it's one thing to be serenading a bunch of drunk people at 3 a.m. in Coconut Grove with Journey, but it's another thing to serenade folks in a big theater on what is supposed to be one of the most important days of their lives. So, how'd I do? Allow me to take you through how I managed to get through that and whether or not I would be into the wedding singer gig again. First things first, I needed to know what it was that I was going to sing. Evan worked with the band and the groom to put together a song list, and they would let me know which songs they would need me to play on. And the way I personally like to learn tunes is I basically just run them over and over and over again on repeat, and I will look for patterns. If there are particular melody lines that are catchy and repeat themselves throughout, I'll try to internalize those first and get those out of the way. Things like choruses that repeat themselves a certain number of times. Then, once I had those tunes under my belt a little bit and I was able to look up the lyrics, Evan and I sat down for a bit and ran them just as a duo before getting together with the rest of the band. Well, we'll hopefully get a full run of show with who's who.
This is the second song.
Name pronunciations, hopefully.
We'll have all that written down phonetically.
Okay,
I was
great.
Very clear about that.
Okay, wedding planner.
Yeah.
Please, thank you. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. You've had a strong foundation when the winds of change shift.
What's going to happen is that sequence is going to start. Well, you don't come in for a few bars, so
yeah,
it'll be real obvious once the band's. Because Medrick is just basically going to look at me and like, oh yeah, the sequence is going cool. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And even if you have to go, like, or whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah. If you ever need that, we'll just have you and me have some signals. So just look at me and go like this. And give me an eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
yeah. Oh, 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 ain't nobody love me better, make me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better than you. Thank you for this. I feel a lot more confident going into tomorrow. I was kind of freaking out. I'm like, this is a lot of tunes. And it's nice knowing that I can read if I have to. That makes me feel a lot more confident. When I'm done singing, I'm gonna have a Magnum bar.
yeah, you are.
So we met up the next day at a venue downtown, and we figured out song forms, where to put solos in. Particularly at this gig, we had a saxophone player joining us as well, so figuring out where to slot in a saxophone solo in addition to everything else, as well as just running the tunes up and down and making sure everybody had them.
He's got brown hair, right?
And we took the time to share some Sour Patch Kids in the process. Getting ready for the show starts really early with my makeup loadout. And if you actually want to know the kinds of things that I put on my face for a gig, let me know in the comments, I guess. Oh. We are here at the gig and the guys are currently setting up on stage. This is our green room. I got my stuff, a bandwich, drum tambourine and shaker. And of course, because the wedding and the reception were held in the same place, we had to sound check pretty early. I pretty much spent the rest of the afternoon sneaking bites of my bandwich and pacing in the green room until it was time to get out there. Almost ready. Got my lyrics. Now, I don't have any video of our performance, of course, because it's somebody's wedding, but I do have a few pictures of the night that could hopefully give you a little bit of a taste of what it looked like to be there. So, how'd it go? Well, the bride and groom absolutely loved it, and I know I personally had an absolute blast. The only casualties were my stockings and my wrist, because I was using a tambourine that was not meant for human hands. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Would I do it any differently? Well, I probably would have actually brought my auxiliary percussion with me, and I would have liked to have been more off book than I was for that show. But that's just me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of a gig that I prepared for. If you would like to catch me live on Twitch, you could visit twitch.tv/ElisaRockDoc for shows when we have them. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe consider booking me for your wedding. And as always, no matter what you do, always be sure to rock on. See you next time. It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear, 'cause it's good time. She puts on her makeup. And do we know what color her hair is?
I think she's brown.
And then she asks me, I'll change it up. Do I look alright? And I say,